Yeah, people copy our shit all the time.
Yeah. And I love when people send me a message like, hey, send me the stencil for this tattoo. And then I actually spend some time in a polite way telling them why I don't think it's a great idea. And then I'll get a "F you copyright."
I have a small respect for the audacity of them there.
Ooh, tattoo copying, that's a fun one.
Oh, man, we're on a good topic now.
Don't do it. It's really rude.
Tattoo copying is a massive no-go. You get kicked out of my house for that shit. No.
I mean, hey, if you could do it better than me, kudos to you, but chances are you won't be able to, so.
You ever been copied?
Yes.
I don't know.
She probably has.
Absolutely.
I feel like if I do a portrait, I'll see it. Maybe it's like an algorithm, but I'll see it like kind of pop up sometimes.
I copied her.
See.
You bitch.
I didn't point like she copied. I'm
Yeah, I
saying,
copy all his work.
No.
It's basically, that's my niche.
Why does it happen? Some people use it to learn. I feel like it really sucks when you post it as if it was originally yours.
I think it's disrespectful to the artist and to the client who go in and want an original design, and it can be super meaningful. I've had one of my tattoos copied, and it was a memorial piece, and somebody just took it and threw it on their arm and were like, thanks for the design, and I was like, that was a memorial tattoo for my client's mom and brother that just died, and
that's rough.
now it's just on your arm too. But I would rather give my clients something original that they can love.
No, yeah.
I've had 3 good ideas in my life, and they've been stolen every f***ing time, okay? Every time. You know, it's usually like the at-home person or the kitchen person or like the guy who sucks. But recently it's been like a couple people who have like more followers than me, and they're just in another country, and I'm like, dude, you gotta do a little background. At least give me credit. Like, I get that, like, you know, you're in another country, you may not be able to come to me. At least give me some credit. Y'all have more clout than me. Like, you're getting more out of this than I am. Like,
The first time I've ever had somebody copy me, one of my tattoos, was really recently. So recently I saw a tattoo that I did going around everywhere, except it wasn't my tattoo. It was the exact same thing, just done shittily. And at first I was really angry, but then I was excited because I could go through every comment on that viral post and be like, look at the original, it's much better. And it was a really good way of advertising myself, actually.
I had a walk-in tattoo a few years ago, and it was some girl who was visiting from Colombia. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know about the shop or anything. She was like, oh, I'll get a tattoo while I'm in New York. She walks in, and I turn her arm over to place a stencil, and she has a copy of a piece that I did custom for somebody in like 2012 because she found it on Pinterest. And she was so embarrassed, and I thought it was hilarious. I don't really care.
I feel like it's okay to take inspiration from people, but I feel like in this day and age, like, unless it's like traditional tattoos and it's like you're respecting like old tradition or, you know, thick black line, like color stuff, unless you're doing that, I feel like you can use your iPad or like Photoshop or something and change stuff a little bit, because I feel like it's too easy to do, like, not like do that. I don't know.
my tattoos get copied all the time, and I don't necessarily do a lot of original stuff. I do a lot of anime and cartoons and stuff, and that's not necessarily my, it's not really my personal idea.
Most of the stuff that I use is kind of recycled. I just kind of put a twist on it. I mean, if you can just twist it 5% more, you know, that would be great.
There's certain things like I think are okay, like realistic photos. So my style is realism, black and gray. So a lot of the times I am copying a photo, whether it's of an animal, of like a portrait. So in that sense, I think it's okay, but I think it's important to be original as an artist, because the worst thing to see, and I've seen it myself, is someone taking the design that you created, you put hours into, and they take that and duplicate it on someone else. And that's like the worst feeling. So it's good to tweak an image. I know there's a lot of like similar images going around with the lions and the clocks and the roses and stuff like that. But if you could tweak it in your own little way, I think that's the goal as an artist.
I don't think it's okay at all, mainly because like it's Like, there's a reason we're doing this, to be creative. And then also, like, somebody else put their hard work into it. Like, I get it, like, going with your own style of, like, a version of something, but it's gotta be, like, pretty far off to call it yours, I think.
I definitely have used a ton of references or drawn things, or people have been like, I really like this tattoo from this person, and can I get something like that? And I'd be like, yeah, it can be like the same subjects and similar style, but not that.
I know a lot of times people bring artists references or pictures of tattoos because they want to give the artist an idea of what they want, and that's what that's for. They might not exactly want that tattoo, but if you go to a bad tattooer, they're going to tattoo that exact tattoo on you, and so that's what we try to stay away from.
I find it to be my job as a tattooer and an artist, when people come to me, they always say, hey, you did that thing, I want that. And then it's my responsibility to the person who I created that for to say, no. Say, I can make something else. It could be similar in a way, but it's my responsibility to not copy.
There's so much stuff out there. Why do you want mine? Like, get your own, you know? Like, I work hard for my stuff. Like, maybe you should too.
I don't really care. I think that there's points that if it's a super custom piece, okay, like I saw a guy running around with a Conor McGregor chest piece. His exact chest piece. It's weirder the more famous it is, but at the same time, the more famous it is, the more likely it is to be copied, right? How many people were running around with like copies of Pamela Anderson's tattoos in the late 90s or something? Like, I wonder if she specifically fueled all of the late 90s barbed wire kind of stuff. So I think that it can be at its worst cringe, but I'm not gonna take offense.
I used to get upset whenever people copied original designs that I did that was not intended to be flash. It was a custom tattoo specifically for that person, and I would be like, yo, what the f are you doing? Like, and I would actually like call people out. And then I completely stopped doing that because, you know, what are you gonna do? I'm putting a design on the internet and I can't expect the world to have the same ethics as me. And so for me to get upset for someone to copy something they liked and just call them out and be like an ass to them, you know, imagine how that person feels, because I have people that will tag me in stuff they copied. And they're like, look at this. Hey, Mike, check this out. And then for me to be like, what the f are you doing? Like, imagine like how crushed that person feels. So I try and put myself in their position. Maybe I'll message them and say, hey, listen, that's really cool, but you might not want to do that to someone else. You might get a different reaction.
I think it's natural. It's what it is. Like, if you put something on the social media, that's gonna happen. So if you don't want to be copied, don't upload anything. That's it, you know, like, you don't have the rights until you put something on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever is like the social media thing that you put your images. You're just allowing people to just copy you. And I feel, in my personal opinion, that when somebody copies you, it means like you're doing it right. So, I mean, in my case, that makes me feel good.
There's kind of that thin line where it's like you feel good that it got copied because it was good enough for other people to like it, but they still copied it. So it's like, are you happy? Are you sad?
At first I used to get angry about it, and then because I was like, someone's trying to steal my things, you know what I mean? But then now it's, people are gonna steal your things no matter what, you know? So like, it was just whatever, I might as well just go with it. And then I just gotta try to keep doing better myself, and then I don't care what those people, they're always behind. The copiers are always behind.
I mean, if it's done poorly, I love it. That's like my favorite thing in the world, is like seeing like really botched copies. We need entertainment too. So that's I don't know. If it's done badly, I'm all for it. If it's done well, maybe we should have done better. I don't know. There's no such thing as like, you know, copywriting a tattoo. So it's gonna happen. You just gotta roll with it.
Okay, the only way I'm tattooing a lion is if I'm going to fucking safari and taking the damn picture myself. Because we don't copy, that's just not what we do. Sorry.
It's a very expensive method.
Expensive, that's why we charge a lot.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get consent of the lion to be photographed?
Honestly, I don't have a good comeback for that right now.
Tattoo, 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 get a tattoo.
My bob is being rubbed by your shoulder. My bob, open my bob.
Bobs.